Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm reporting live from my fourth city here in China. It is my very first time in Chongqing, China, and I could not be more excited after everything that I've seen online. Chongqing, China is known as the Hill City, a city that's built on steep hills, and you no doubt would have at least heard of it on the socials thanks to that Liziba station monorail running through a building and this view of Hongya Cave. Today's video is going to document my reaction as a first-time visitor to Chongqing, China as we explore stunning historical spots, experience some delicious and maybe a bit spicy food, as well as of course the modern cyberpunk aspect of the city. I cannot wait, and so without further ado, let's go! Stopping off here for breakfast before we head off to our first spot. Chongqing is known for their spicy food, and so the waitress here was a bit mystified why I ordered clear soup with wontons. It's good though. Just heading off to my first spot now, and just real quickly before we start catching public transport, and I would have already covered this in my China travel guide. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it in my description box. But you'll need to activate a WeChat mini program to ride public transport. The one that will work here in Chongqing is Chengce. I cover how to use it in my China travel guide, so definitely watch that if you haven't already before coming back to this video. What I love about China is how historically packed it is, because tell me, where else can you find the highway on one side and a whole historical city on the other? Whoa, you guys. This is stunning. So I'm standing here on a piece of history. This is the Huguang Guild Hall, one of Chongqing's most historically significant sites, built by migrants during the Qing dynasty. Migrants who come from multiple regions such as Hubei, Hunan, Guangdong, and Guangxi, and used to serve as a vital hub for social gatherings, business dealings, religious worship, and cultural exchange for well over 200 years. Also on this location is a huge opera stage where you can occasionally catch live performances that tell the historical story of Chongqing. I'm going to balance all that history with a touch of modern. I'm now at the JieFangbei Pedestrian Street, which is located right in the heart of the city. The street, as you can see, contains a mix of massive malls and street food. Great spot mainly for shopping in the morning, but it will also look amazing at nighttime. I'm here in the morning because I'm super curious to try this. One thing you need to know about Chongqing is that they love spice. They put chili in absolutely everything. And I generally like to keep a pretty open-minded when I'm traveling, but you guys, I'm not sure about this one. This is the Sichuan ice cream that has gone crazy viral all over the socials. Looks menacing, but let's give it a go. I'm not a spice fan and I'm properly scared, so I have a bit of water here just in case. Nice big scoop there with the ice cream. But you know, it's actually not bad. It's creamy, spicy obviously, but with a hint of crunch thanks to the chili flakes. I mean, would I like to eat it every single day? Probably not, but it is actually not bad. And a true testament to Chongqing's love for the spice.
1 hour later.
I will say though that the ice cream obscures exactly how much chili is in it. My tummy feels a bit funny at the moment, but still worth trying. You will also know that China's city skylines are something to see up close and personal, and there's no better way to do it than by getting on the Yangtze River Cableway. That's what I'm lining up for right now. Wow, you guys, the view is amazing. And while we're going on and on about the skyline, this is another spot that you have to come to if you want to see Chongqing at its best. This observation deck is appropriately called Eye in the Clouds and is located on level 67 of Raffles City, Chongqing. And guys, it looks absolutely stunning here in the daytime. There are a few things you do not want to miss, especially if you're a first-timer to Chongqing. And the landmark that I'm standing right in front of is one of them. This is the Liziba station, where you'll get to uniquely see a monorail go through a building. You would have no doubt already seen it on social media. However, I'm here today to see it up close and personal for the very first time. And what really blows me away is that while this is an architecture marvel to people like you and I, this is just everyday life for people in China. So what do I think? It is no doubt an amazing thing to see up close and personal, unreal. However, I do think it's a once you've seen it kind of thing. It's become so touristy that there's so many people there. And so whilst I would say it's still worth seeing, if your itinerary is a bit tight, it is actually okay in my opinion to leave this off. This is actually quite stunning to look at up close. As you might already know, spice is life here in Chongqing. And today we're heading to a restaurant that has gone viral all over social media. Let's go check it out. It really is a bunker. Haven't tried the food yet, but this bunker is stunning to see up close. So you order your food here at the counter from a menu, and they'll also give you a selection of teas to pick from, and you actually get to smell the tea to decide if it's the tea for you. I was having all of this and I was thinking, oh, it's not spicy at all. I realized, oh, okay, it's not the hot kind of spicy, it's the mala kind of spicy, where your tongue and your mouth become more numb the more food you eat, like it is right now as we're speaking. The food is actually pretty good and cheap. I think I paid $6 for all of this. So I made a little mistake with this restaurant and I don't want you to make the same one. I didn't realize that there were actually two sections to this restaurant. One side is a tea house situation, which is exactly where I just was. However, the section that has been going viral is actually the Hotpot section, which is on the other side, and I only realized this as I was leaving. I mean, the noodles and dumplings that I had were delicious, and as you will see later on in this video, I do come back and try the Hotpot the next day. But if the Hotpot is what you're after, don't make the same mistake that I did and make sure that you're in the right section. It is now about 6 o'clock in Chongqing. The sun is setting, which means that now is the perfect time to come check out arguably the most iconic spot in town. I am here in the area to see Hongya Cave, which ironically is not a cave, but rather a stunning complex that has been built into the hillside. The complex contains shops, cafes, food stalls, and many more, but you are probably more familiar with its nighttime form where it all lights up like this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and tell you that this is some hidden gem. It is a tourist trap, but man, it is a stunning tourist trap that is definitely worth seeing. Wow. I have another hour before the cruise starts, so I'm just gonna spend that exploring Hongya Cave and also maybe having some dinner. And the area is highly popular as the sun sets because everybody comes out to see Hongya Cave in its finest form. At this stage, you have the choice to be in with the crowds, or for about 20 something Aussie dollars, you could avoid the crowd, get on a boat, and get a view of the Hongya Cave that looks like this. Also, just a note that right behind me is the Dongsumen Bridge that is quite unique in that it's actually got two levels. One level's for the car and another's for train. It started raining at the tail end of the cruise ride and it is a nightmare to get out of here, but I would say that it was still completely worth it because the view that I saw when I was on the boat was exactly how I imagined Chongqing to be. It was absolutely unreal. In my opinion, completely worth it. I honestly hope you guys enjoyed this first day of my Chongqing adventures. I felt like I ticked off a lot of things for my first day, and the hotel's location has a lot to do with that. That said, due to delays, my flight from Shenzhen literally arrived at 2 a.m. this morning, and I have been up and about since 7:30. So I think I'm gonna call it a night, head home and get some well-deserved R&R, but I'm gonna see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye. Welcome to day 2 of my adventures here in Chongqing. I am actually very excited about this first spot that we're going to because we're going to go visit one of my favoritist person in the world. But before we do that, I'm going to start off with a bit of breakfast and we're going to be trying out a Chongqing classic. This store has apparently been here since 1989. I'm honestly a little bit scared, but when in Chongqing, right? One thing that I'm gonna always love about traveling in Asia and in China is how cheap everything is. This huge bowl of noodles cost me just 4 Aussie dollars. You can't even get instant noodles, I think, in Sydney for that. It's also quite a balanced meal. You get a heavy dose of vegetables, meat, and noodles. I have to admit, I did ask them to dial back on the spice just a little bit. Let's give it a go. It smells amazing though. The noodles are drenched in this thick sauce that has this kind of mala feel to it. Tastes really good though. It's actually spicy. There's only one thing that Chongqing people will possibly love more than spice, and that is pandas, which is why a visit to the Chongqing Zoo is an absolute must when you're in the city. This particular one is known for its large population of pandas. Let's go meet some. Look at that little cutie. Uh-oh.
它推着的，你看这玩意儿挺厉害的。
你给它嗨呀！它到这了。
在树上的。
It worked out. Yay! I also did a lot of city stuff yesterday, so today we're gonna switch it up a little bit by heading here. This is the Ciqikou ancient town, a charming riverside neighborhood that literally feels like a living museum here in Chongqing. Come with me, let's go check it out. This lovely riverside neighborhood used to be a busy port along Jialing River and will make you feel like you've stepped into old Chongqing with its combination of narrow lanes, traditional wooden buildings, tea houses and street food stalls selling everything from spicy skewers, homemade sweets to crafts and souvenirs. My mouth's on fire. I'm actually a little bit apprehensive about this lunch stop. Spicy hotpot is a quintessential must-try dish here in Chongqing, China. Like, you literally can't say you've been to Chongqing unless you've tried this. I'm not gonna say I can't eat spice, but I'm not the greatest spice eater. But then I thought, you know, how can I come all the way to Chongqing and not try one of their most iconic dishes, right? And so I decided I'm gonna do it. We're gonna be trying out this iconic dish at quite possibly one of the most popular hotpot restaurants here in town. This bunker-style hotpot restaurant has gone crazy viral all over the socials, in part due to the restaurant's, shall we say, rather unique decor, which I'm certainly a fan of, but am I gonna be a fan of the food? Let's find out. The restaurant is so big, by the way, it takes you a hot minute to walk all the way from the front to the back of the restaurant. Might as well take off the jacket because I know things are gonna get hot. One of the things I love about China is so you can enter a restaurant, sit down, order, eat, and leave without ever seeing anybody. So I cheated a little bit and got the half-half. One half is the classic spicy mala hot pot, and the other half is like mushroom soup. So, you know, just in case the spicy gets a bit too spicy for me. And guys, it looks like they've put every single chili under the sun into the soup. Just look at it. It looks lethal. Like, literally, even the steam that's coming off of the soup is spicy. I think the meat is done. Put it in a bit of sauce and bottoms up. Really peppery, you guys, but it tastes good. So glad that I wore black. There's no way that's gonna come out from a white shirt. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. No, I'm not. My mouth's on fire. I think that just made it worse. So spicy, so good. The food was a bit spicy, I'm not gonna lie, but it was actually not too bad. And it's not expensive. All of that food cost me around 23 Aussie dollars. It's a pretty good deal. And the decor is definitely one of a kind. What can I say? I definitely think it's an experience that's worth doing. After that rather spicy dinner, I am now back in the Ciqikou area to watch a show that honestly was one of the first things I added to my list when I was planning for this trip to Chongqing. The show is about to start, so let's go in to check it out. The Chongqing 1949 show, a breathtaking live performance that brings the history of Chongqing to life in a rather unique rotational presentation. And I'm excited for two main reasons. One is I love learning about the history of a city, as you might already be aware if you've seen any of my other travel guides. And since I wasn't able to fit any museums in this Chongqing itinerary, this immersive show is going to be a fantastic way to learn about the history. So the show was absolutely amazing. I was honestly a little bit wary because overhyped things on the internet can often not deliver, but I love how they put so much effort into telling Chongqing's story. Honestly, I was captivated from the beginning to the end. Highly, highly recommend, and I'm so glad I ticked that item off my list. And I'm actually here at my next and last spot of the day, taking off another thing off my bucket list, and you guys are about to see what it is. Come with me.
I wanted to charge my camera. Now I can't.
You still have power.
Probably.
Guys, we are so far up, it's a little bit scary. And there are a lot of stairs, but we're here. I mean, if the little girl can do it, so can I, right? Thankfully, I did eventually get the hang of this, or rather just learn to not look down. The photographer will ask you to do a couple of poses. You will at some point be given some props to take the picture with, like this lightsaber that I'm holding. But once it's all done, it's a trust process to just let go so that you can be let down to the ground. Not to worry, there'll be a net and a person at the bottom to catch you.
OK， 好，非常棒。
That was insane. I'm actually scared of heights, so that was an insane experience, but it is one that I would definitely do again. I've explored Chongqing on my own for the first 2 days, but because the spots that I wanted to cover today are quite a distance away from the city, I decided to just join a tour, and it's been quite interesting. I've been in this car with several very friendly elderly locals. 要多久啊？1个小时，我们坐高铁就1个小时。哦。就是没时间了，可能下次。成都的风景太多了。我也是这么听说，可能下次吧。Guys, look at this. I'm right here in the hillside of a countryside in Chongqing, looking at the Chiyou Jiuli Palace. It is a striking cultural landmark dedicated to the legendary tribal leader Chiyou. The palace, as you can see, is instantly recognizable for its towering multi-tier architecture, often cited as one of the tallest stilted building in the world, blending traditional Mao people design with bold, fantastical elements. Looking up close, you will see the intricate wooden carvings, vibrant colors, and symmetrical structures, and even though it is old, there is certainly a sense of grandeur as you're looking around. And every part of the palace that you want to go see involves going up these rather steep stairs, which makes sense because this building, this palace is built like this, right? Into a hill. What does that sound? Oh look, there's like a performance and stuff. And almost everybody here is a local. In fact, the bus that I was in was full of locals. I was the only tourist. I think sometimes I forget how big China is and domestic travel is highly popular here. Big another China classic here for lunch.
I got the one with pork floss. Pretty good.
My second stop, as you can see, is a cruise. This cruise goes along the Wujiang Gallery. It takes about an hour. And you can really tell how much of a hill city this is from the cruise because everywhere you look, mountains. Either just mountains or buildings built around mountains or buildings built into the mountains, like this. I've just arrived at my next destination, walking over to the 3 natural bridges, one of Chongqing's most striking natural wonders. It comprises 3 limestone arch bridges, as you can see here, Tianlong, Qinglong, and Heilong, carved over millions of years thanks to erosion. Interesting fact, this was the filming location for Transformers: Age of Extinction. Guys, wow. Check that out. And then I think you take a glass elevator down. This is unreal. It is a rotating lift. And look, there's like a village of some sort at the bottom of the stairs. One thing that's quite cool about being here at the bottom is that you really get to see the structure and the rock formations up close. It's also just so peaceful out here. It really is the perfect kind of quiet trip that I needed personally before I head off to my next China city, which is going to be a metropolis. And as we come down the stairs, we'll eventually approach the first bridge, the Tianlong Bridge. It is considered the most accessible out of the 3 natural bridges and really kind of sets the tone as to what you can expect architecture-wise. And if this is the standard, I think we need to be prepared. Just look at that. And once you're kind of exiting Tianfu Bridge, you will approach Tianfu Post House. Really the only sign of human architecture in this otherwise natural landscape. We're now walking up to our second bridge. This is the Qinglong Bridge. It is the tallest and considered the most dramatic out of the 3 bridges, standing at over 280 meters tall. Wow! The entire reserve where the bridges are contained will take you an entire afternoon to properly explore, even if you're just walking through it, as it is huge. But when I say that these videos are not doing these wonders of nature justice, you best believe it, as it is absolutely unreal to see up close. 好了，大家晚安。哎，玩得高兴一点。Those were honestly some of the nicest people I've ever spent a whole day with. They even asked me if I wanted to come to dinner. Company aside, it was also such a great way to spend a whole day away from the city. And to add to all of that, it was also great to do it as a tour, so I didn't have to really worry about how to get to my next spot and literally just had to sit in the car, wait to be driven to my location. But before we sign off, there's just one more thing we need to do. I've already been here to the Eye in the Clouds in the afternoon, but I had to come here again at night because look at that skyline. Sadly, I'm here at the airport, which means that this marks the end of my Chongqing adventures. I honestly came into Chongqing with high expectations. I mean, why wouldn't I? It is one of the most hyped up China cities online, mainly for its cyberpunk aesthetics, which I have to say, it truly delivered. But I have to say, not enough hype is given to the more traditional side of Chongqing, which I also absolutely loved. And whilst I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have a little bit of a complicated relationship with the spicy food. I am in love with this city's deep history and and people. Many of which told me that I need to also visit Chengdu, which I unfortunately will not have time to do this trip, but you can bet that when I come back to visit Chengdu, I'm going to be dropping by in Chongqing as well because I love this city. Right, I'm now heading off to my next China city. Let me see if you can guess where we're going. This city used to be a fishing village called Shun. It today is the third largest city in the world and also home to the longest metro line in the world. Can you guess where I'm going? Let me know in the comment section. And if this video has got you itching to visit Chongqing or China in general, you are going to find my China travel guide video helpful, basically containing everything you need to know before and during your trip in China. From visa, arrival cards, navigating public transport, payment, and so forth. I'm going to link that video at the end of this video so that you can watch that next. I also do hope that you found value in today's video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things that you know are going to appease those holy YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly, will just make my day as a content creator. Specifically, if you do have a comment or question for me, do drop them in the comment section, as I do love hearing from people who take time to watch my videos. And as always, I do hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've already had a good day. I'm going to see you real soon in the next video. 再见!